All right, folks. So we've got a different situation today, and that situation is that one of my customers for a rat problem has been having kind of an ongoing issue. Even though we found a couple spots on the outside that were potential to give entry for rats, unfortunately, even after getting those sealed off and getting everything buckled down and doing a trapping session, they were still continuing to have, issues. So when that happens, there typically is one issue that is likely causing that, and it usually means that they have what's called a plumbing breach. A plumbing breach happens when either a plumber, when they're getting ready to they could be remodeling your kitchen, or it could even be in the original install. Sometimes they leave a pipe open. They might have to put in a three-way splitter for a pipe, but put in a quad because it's just air going through there, so they're not considering it a potential leak. So they get a little lazy and they only put a four-way open system on there. So now rats can come in through the sewage system, come up the pipe and into the wall, and then they can get out that way. That happens sometimes. Or sometimes a pipe stack, which you have up on your roof. Those pipe stacks are what's called plumbing vents. They allow gases to escape up and out of the roof rather than inside the house itself. When you have those situations, then what you end up having is, sometimes when they cut those below the roof, well then now instead of coming out and on top of the roof, they're coming out and inside the attic. So what you end up having to do is do what's called a smoke test on the home. A smoke test basically blows smoke throughout the plumbing system, and then smoke, if there happens to be an open pipe somewhere that it shouldn't be, smoke comes out of either the walls, or it could come out of, underneath sinks. It can come out into attics. It can come out into, even if you have basements, things like that, you can get smoke in those areas. And as long as all the plumbing is all connected and done properly the way it should be, you shouldn't have that happen. But so if you start getting smoke inside your house, you have an issue. So at that point, that's what I had to do. I had to conduct a smoke test, and we had smoke breach coming out a couple areas, and one of which happened to be this area right in here. So that right there is a pipe stack that they decided not to take up and out of the roof itself. Instead, they cut it below. So one of the things that I also noticed while I was doing this is you'll notice that there is quite a bit of fecal matter up near this pipe. Usually entry points tend to have the most fecal matter near them. They're generally marking those areas, urine staining them, things like that. So today what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to cap this pipe here. It's still going to vent out, but the rats will not be able to come up and out of the pipe anymore, which is vitally important. So it's going to be a little tricky to do it, not too bad, but that's what we're dealing with. So always consider this: if you are on a city plumbing system, a city waste system, as opposed to a septic system. A septic system, you are on a closed plumbing system. Everything is all connected. As long as your clean out cap is securely capped on the outside, you don't have any open pipes along the outside walls, you have an enclosed plumbing system. So you don't really necessarily have to worry about this as much, but if you were on city sewage, this is an issue. And it's something to always keep in mind. So if you've been having problems with rats, and suddenly, no matter what, you look around the house and like you've had multiple people look around, nobody can find an open pipe or an opening anywhere. Maybe it be a soffit hole or something like those. Nobody can find an outside entry point. You got to start considering plumbing. That's generally what ends up happening. So at that point, you got to do, at the very least, a smoke test. Smoke test might be able to find the actual pipe and the opening, and then you know where you got to cut, open up the wall, and fix that pipe. In this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and cap this pipe, but the customer also has to get a plumber to, because we found a couple other areas of concern. So they're going to have to get a plumber to come in and scope those areas, figure out where those are, and see what needs to be fixed on those. This way we know for a fact that all of their issues are taken care of. We don't want to leave anything open. You leave only one spot open, this problem never goes away. So folks, just keep that in mind. Plumbing issues can be very problematic. So we want to make sure that those issues are always taken care of. So anyhow, until next time folks, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great one.